Ja, herzlich willkommen, lieber Zuhörer, liebe Zuhörerin, zum nächsten Interview. Heute ein bisschen ein anderes Interview, nämlich heute auf Englisch. Der Grund dafür ist, dass mein heutiger Gast, die Olga Isaeva vom Nomadtrain, englischsprachig ist. Deswegen machen wir das Ganze auf Englisch. Ich hoffe, das ist in Ordnung. Ich switch dann jetzt auch direkt die Sprache. Hello, Olga. Very warm welcome. Nice to have you here in the interview of our Vacation Hub Online Congress.
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me for this interview.
Please say some words to yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Mm-hmm. I'm Olga, as you introduced me. I'm from Nomadtrain and I'm a co-founder of Nomadtrain Experience. And originally I'm from Russia, but last 7 years I'm traveling a lot, organizing events and like mostly travel events all around the world.
That sounds cool. So thanks for the introduction. Tell us, please, a little bit more about your concept of the Nomadtrain. It's like someone who never heard about a Nomadtrain, what exactly is the Nomadtrain?
Nomadtrain, I think it's we can say it from several sides. The first, Nomadtrain is a manifesto to remote work. So this is the longest co-working experience in the world, we can say like that. Second, it's also like something from your bucket list that you can dream to make in your life, and then with the Nomadtrain you do it, because quite a lot of people were thinking, and me as well, to cross Russia by the train, starting in Moscow and finishing somewhere in Mongolia or in the end of Russia. So this is how the Nomadtrain began, is that 3 people who were thinking about doing this by themselves, they gathered. It was me and 2 other guys. I mean, people, Masha and Daniel. And we were like in this topic of common interest of crossing Russia. We started this project that we called Nomadtrain.
So basically, people who work remotely come together in Eastern Europe and drive together with the train through different countries.
Yeah, just to make it like, what does it mean in practical way? We have a 2 weeks program. This program starts in Moscow, Russia, and then we jump in the train and we go further to Russia and then go to Mongolia. So basically we do trans-Mongolian train railway trip. And not to be stuck in the train for 7 days. We can do this as well, but it's could be problems with the internet connection and with some shower things. So just because you're already in Russia, it's a nice opportunity to see the country. So we make stops during the way. And now we have we actually changed our program last year, and now we have several stops as well. So first stop is a city called Kazan, then it's Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk, Irkutsk, and Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. So we have, in Moscow. So we have a starting city and ending city, and then 4 stops on the way. And in each city, what is unusual or unique about this train, that in each city we have co-working where you can go and work, and you're welcome.
Okay, so every few cities you stop, and then people are able to work there as well, since probably on the train the internet connection is not the most stable one, and you stay also in hotels then. Those cities?
Yeah. Yeah, we chose to stay in the hotels, and basically we have twin accommodation included in price. If you want, for example, to stay alone, to be in a single room, you can pay additionally and have this option. And we don't do this in the hostels because we want some privacy as well. and people who go with the train, they are quite mature, and I think for that people is more they value their own, you know, space. And that's why, yeah, we choose hotels. Of course, we choose hotels with where you can find good Wi-Fi, where you can also work. But yeah, co-working's primary thing in the cities. And secondly, you of course can do some exploration of the city by yourself or with the group.
But there's no organized program, or do you have some program for like sightseeing so everyone can join?
It was fun experience, because first year when we were doing Nomadtrain, we partnered with some like company who does excursions, and in each city we offered the organized excursion. And first Nomadtrain was really full of nomads, people who really like remote I know, travelers, workers, and they're very independent. And nobody used any of that excursion, and everyone was searching for his own experience, and more interested, was more interested in going some not touristic places, but really like authentic and other things. But for example, second year was a bit different, and we did some also organized activities, and people joined it, and it was also cool. So I think it's a combination, because for example, this third year there are things that we definitely additionally organize. As for example, in the last Russian city where we stopped, it's called Irkutsk, and it's situated near Baikal Lake. And Baikal Lake is the biggest lake in Earth, and it's very beautiful and really nice visit. And we organize like 3 days visit to Alkhon Island. It's an island in that lake. And I think without like knowing Russian, without knowing all details how to get there, because it's a bit complicated, it would be difficult to do it by yourself, especially if you're a foreigner. So we do this, like we rent the bus, because you need to go first by bus, then by ferry, then you need to find a place where to stay, and then to make some Russian safari. So we do this, and we offer this like an optional package, but previous years we did the same, and everyone went to that place because it's really worth doing. Yes. And like small trips, small excursions, of course we will do, but more again authentic, because some touristic things people can find by themselves. So if you go to Nomadtrain, doesn't mean that you all the time, you know, stuck with the group. So you have your freedom, you have your choice to go to work or to explore the city. But of course, some really valuable things, like I don't know, like this Baikal trip or some like trip to see some churches, we will definitely say you need to join, and let's do this all together, because it's worth doing for sure.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, so I'm basically free to decide if I want to join the group activities that you organize, or if I want to have my time private for me.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you define for yourself a vacation?
Vacation. I was thinking about that. I think it depends also for whom, right? What does it mean, vacation? If we speak about myself personally, for me, vacation is a place where I go and a trip, or it's first of all change of the like everyday lifestyle and things, and it's an opportunity to see and like look, better not to see, but look at my project from other angle, and from other maybe culture even. And also when I meet new people, I tell them about what I do, and it's a great chance for me to reflect on what I do. And since I'm traveling a lot, I cannot say that I'm mostly all the time on vacation, so work, travel. So I think it's maybe better to think from side other people. Not, I don't know, because from my side is that. For others it would be different. Yeah, I was also thinking, for example, for the companies, there are a lot of remote companies, and for them vacation is I think an opportunity, and kind of unique opportunity to meet all together and come to some mutual points and discuss things in person, because of course there are a lot of instruments, tools, and you can I don't know, plan everything online, but when you connect with person in person, it's more productive. So for companies, it's really very practical thing as well.
True. Yes. Yeah. Good points. I also think it's a good thing for companies, especially like remote teams who sometimes never see each other, to be able to come together. And
I think this is a new and modern way of like team building as well, because when you in the office, you have every like Friday pizza and everything, right? And if you're remote, you need this connection, because sometimes you can feel lonely, or it depends also on the size of the company. Of course, maybe in your city there are several people and there is an opportunity for you to connect with them, but if you're really like alone and other your team members, they're somewhere like, I don't know, other continent, these vacations are chances to meet and to at the end to be more productive and have better results at work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. And for the Nomadtrain, is there also, I don't know, sometimes remote teams from companies coming together, or is it always single persons?
Yeah. We want to launch a B2B experience, and actually we are searching for first company with who we can test this. Because Nomadtrain is an unusual experience, right? You also like really cross the country. It's like moving vacation. I think it's still doable for the company. It could be great as well. Opportunity. Why? Because you also you're stuck in one train, and you have these small like compartments. It's where you like sleep. It's compartment per 4 person, and during the trip you can organize nice like workshops in these compartments. So what we're doing now, if everything will be fine, in May we're doing train for students. For a group of students, would be around 20 people. They are from Thailand, and they are students of like architecture. And for them, we designing the trip that will combine train trip and also workshops on architecture, on design, and also exploration of Soviet architecture. So we are testing this model with the students, so we will see if it works well and everything will be fine. We will be searching for first company, client.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. I think there's a lot of different models you can do with your concept of the Nomadtrain.
Yeah. Now we have our like September trip. It's kind of our, I don't know, traditional trip, and we gather people all around the world. It's not only nomads, it's not only remote workers. Sometimes it's just people who take vacation at work and they just want to see Russia, they want to have fun, and they want to meet people. I think it's more, we gather every time. We have nice group of people, but it's different. I mean, it depends on the people who join, right? But it's I think it's anyway, it's about slow travel, exploration, culture, and adventures.
Yeah, I really like the concept. Maybe I'm going to join the train sooner or later as well. I think especially for everyone who has the trans-siberian train on his or her bucket list, this is like a great way to do it. So you will have a community, like-minded people, yeah. And how many people are, like for your classic trip, how many people are there in general?
In general, around like 20 or 30, from like 20 or 30 people. It's an ideal number. I think we can do more, but it would be more difficult in terms of organization, and also in the smaller cities of Russia. Of course, in Moscow, St. Petersburg, there's no problem with the nice hotels, co-workings and everything. But if you go further to Russia, it would be difficult to find one nice place where you can accommodate everyone. So it would be more difficult. So we try to stick to a number of 20, from 20 to 30 people.
Okay, yeah, that's quite some. So I guess I mean, you said you have two other founders for this project, maybe some more team members. I guess that's necessary for such an amount of people.
Yeah. I think I was something with the connection, but it came back.
Your face was frozen for a second, but it's back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just jump back. Okay. Sorry, I got lost a bit.
So you were like thinking about how you joined Nomadtrain and forgot your next question.
Okay, so yeah, let's jump into the organization of your Nomadtrain. Like, since our congress is especially for people who are planning on doing their own kind of vacations, I think it's kind of a special concept to see what's possible, but also to learn from your experience with the Nomadtrain. What went good, what went wrong, what will you do better for the next time? So yeah, maybe let's just start with your first Nomadtrain trip. How did you start in organizing it, like booking the train, hotels, finding the participants? What were your first steps? So let's jump to the organization of your Nomadtrain. Maybe you could give us some insights of how you started out with the Nomadtrain, like booking the train, hotels, participants. What were your first steps in organizing your Nomadtrain?
Yeah, it was actually a really nice story because I was in Gran Canaria, and I was just doing nothing there, either not vacation, just fun. And then I was like really like 1 month there, and I was like thinking, what should I do next? You know, some plans about my life and everything. And then some of my friends from Russia told me, you need to, like, you've seen everything, you need to go and see like co-working of Maria, Russian girl, she's nice, meet her. And I came to meet her, and then suddenly I met Daniel. He's actually from Germany, and then we all three of us were having lunch. And during the lunch, after I know these people, I think around like 4 hours, we are like, I don't know, we are telling that we're doing this trans-siberian trip. Olga, do you want to take part in that? And I was like, okay, let's do. And then that's how it actually starts. It's really like, for me, it was absolutely spontaneous. I know that Daniel and Maria, they were like discussing for a while about making this trip. From my side, me as well. Actually, like 6 months before, I was actually even planning doing this trip, but some social trip for filmmakers, but we didn't win the grant. So I was like, oh, maybe next time I will go by Trans-Siberian. And then I meet people in Gran Canaria, and we are doing that. And then we met for really like a working day, and we spent 1 day that we designed all the route. We counted the money, like made budget. We spoke about like website and everything. And then it was by the end of my staying at Gran Canaria, and Daniel also was living somewhere. So we all spread around the world, and we start all the work about the Nomadtrain remotely. And it was January. And next time we met with Daniel in September in the trip. So, and Maria couldn't join because she was like pregnant and she had waiting for the baby. So we went with Daniel together. We had 30 people on board, and all of the work for preparation work we did remotely. So it was only one that's working day together.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for giving us the insight on how this all started. Yeah. Nice story. It's funny that sometimes you like just meet people on the way who have something similar in mind, and then some nice
you know,
yeah,
you never know when it could be, you know. That's why I like these things. A life called life, you know. You never know what happened next. So that was really great. And yeah, like first, like I think you had a question also about how we were gathering people and how we did it. I think we were so much excited about this first trip. So we didn't have any pictures, you know. It was our first experience. Of course, we all we all were reliable people, and we are still this kind of them. And for example, me, I have huge experience in organizing events all around the world. This is my profession. And Maria also, she has some other businesses related to camp organization. So we really did organization well, but people wouldn't see any pictures to trust us or like know about like we are going where and what to expect. So I think that the first Nomadtrain was the train of adventurous people. It's first, and second, it was just some of friends, you know. It was really like community of social network, because it was the only channel that we used. So we didn't use any paid marketing. We used only our networks, and because we were three, I think it was kind of heavy impact on that networks, because we all have huge networks.
Okay, so for your first participants you just found by your networks,
Yeah.
and for the next trip, then I guess, I mean, since you from the first trip, then you had some pictures. Did you then for the next trips do some additional marketing with your pictures, or did you stay like that and just continue going over your community you had?
Yeah, for the for the next trip, so we understood we had really nice pictures, because for the first train, Lauren, are you here? You're frozen.
I'm here, but you are frozen. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. So for the next trip, we were like excited that we have so many pictures, we have videos, everything is professional made, everything is great, we have reviews. So we were not kind of not worried on the one hand, but on the other hand, we said like, okay, this is second year, we need to go, we are like older, and we started also testing some paid marketing, some target ads, and promotion of our videos. And what is surprising is that we had the same number of not reservation, but like applications, the same number of applications. But in the first year, 30% of applications came to the train. So the second year it was less numbers. And I have some few ideas why we had fewer numbers, but if it's interesting, I can share.
Yes, please share.
I think it could be very, I think, valuable information for those who want to start vacation, because for the next trip there was some several things that happened. First, we were testing different type of sign-up forms. Really, so you need, when you organize your vacation, you really need to think well how of the flow of the funnel, how people are getting to on board on your vacation, how you gather the emails and how you contact them afterwards. So from the first year, we used just simple Google form, and everyone we had in Excel and spreadsheet, and it was easy, at least kind of easy to see what we have. Second year, we decided to integrate websites with some form, then with MailChimp. Then if you make interview, you put some interviewed, and then automated email went to this person. But at the end, what I see, MailChimp is of course very good, but not that good because some of the emails didn't go when they needed to go, or I don't know, there was maybe also not really good organized of this flow, you know. So I think we lost some of the people in this process of our kind of automatization. Second thing is that in our process, it's like our thing that we want to speak with each person who applies, because we want to see whether he suits the concept, the idea, the company, I mean the team who will go. And also of course we also answer the questions about visa, about Russia, about like bears on the streets and like everything. So because Russia, it's not really like it's an unusual destination, and of course people have questions. And for the first year we were doing these interviews by ourselves, and the next year we decided that we will have so many interviews and we will not have enough time to interview people. So we had one more team member who was interviewing people, but she didn't go on the Nomadtrain and she didn't know the spirit of the train. And I think this was also a place where we would lose some people. So what I learned from that for us, interviews is really important thing, and through interviews we also, we sell. We can say that, or we close the person who just applied. And you shouldn't delegate the most important thing for anyone. You should do it by yourself or with the person, I don't know, who you really, really know will do better than you. So, for example, this year, half of the interviews doing me, or half of the interviews doing the person who went the previous year with the Nomadtrain, and she's so excited about the trip and she has more energy than me. Because like if I speak with like 200 people about these routes and tell Baikal is the biggest lake in the earth, it's very nice to visit, I'm getting a bit with low energy, because I did it a lot of times. And she's really fresh and she already seen it, and that's why she can also be like reliable, people trust her, but she's also very energetic, and this is important. So you get excited when you speak to her. So just sum up and make some insights. So if you do it, like if you want to organize a vacation, first think about how you organize this working flow and how people are signed up. If you gather emails, how you contact people, how you follow them up, and how you do have some interview process or not. What is, you need to really take a paper and write down all the processes. And then don't delegate some important tasks to some people. Do it yourself. So this is my outcomes.
Yeah, thank you very much for these tips. So what you do, I haven't seen anyone doing it like that before, and I really like the idea of your interviews. So basically someone applies for the Nomadtrain, or like the applying is just like, okay, I'm interested in joining, maybe have some more questions, and then with each of those persons you do an interview to answer their questions, and also obviously use the internet itself as a sales medium to catch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, you will see during the interview what is it, I mean, not mood but intention. Is the person sign up just for just because he wants to, that he doesn't know what to do, or he's really serious to go? And of course for you it's also understanding whether this person will join or not, or he's thinking or something else.
And do you also sometimes sort out people, like you're having an interview with someone and you think, okay, he's not going to really fit
the community? we keep this in mind. I keep this in mind. But finally, I think we had some people that, in my opinion, wouldn't maybe fit, but at the end they didn't go. And I think Nomadtrain, as I told you, it's really it's unique in a way, and people also need to decide to go there. It's really decision because you really need to make visa to Russia, you need to pay us money, you need to decide to spend some time on this train. And by now we really have and had really nice people who were joining without any problems.
Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, jetzt will ich jetzt sehen. Sorry, I got lost. Yeah, and you said you had some problems with the flow of your applications coming in, that some of them got lost with all your automated stuff in the background. So after you learned from this, what were your steps, the steps you took? Like, did you just use less automating programs, or how did you improve the flow in the end?
I have another project. We also do trips, but we do lighthouses trips, and it's for Russians. And the idea, I mean, is kind of the same. We also organize some trips somewhere, and we also have some working floor. And in these projects, we somehow managed with the flow, and I'm really delighted and satisfied with it. So it's basically the person comes to the website, leaves his email, then he gets automated email by MailChimp, and sometimes I see like how many people receive this automated email, and we call them from time to time just to understand whether they want to join or not. So it's not like official interview, it's just calling the person and asking them whether they received the email, whether they are going to join or not. With Nomadtrain, it's a bit more tricky because I cannot just take a phone and call a person, because also in Europe, I mean internationally, it works a bit different than in Russia. So we're still, I think, still testing the model. So still testing the model, and the best would be when, everything is really very, very logic, and I understand what we do each step, but still we have now the reservation form at the website that goes to MailChimp. Then when the person, he picks up the time in Calendly when he wants to have an interview, and at the set time we meet at Appear In, and we have this call, and after the call we just send an email to the person with further information. And the person who signs up, he has also additional kind of flow of emails with information details about Russia, about visa, about like internet and everything.
Okay, so like get information to the customer, but keep it for the customer as easy and simple as possible.
Yes, this is actually important. We want, like, we also do not do a lot of newsletters. We do not spam. And also because we do not do trips, every 2 months. It's for now, for this like trip for everyone, it's only September. It's one per year, and we have really small team organizing this event, and we don't have resources to do like newsletter every week. So for us, it's also important to automate a lot of things. And also people can join, for example, someone can join train in December for like almost 1 year in advance, and someone will join in May. And we cannot keep in mind to whom we need to send things, so we need these things automated. So I'm still playing around with the best way of organization of this flow, but on the way. Next time we have an interview, I can share better maybe insights.
Yeah, I think it's something like organizing a vacation. It's something like you always learn. Like with every trip you make, you learn something for the next one. Yeah.
Yes, true. I don't know. Like at least what is unique from like our trip is unique. On the one hand, it's more difficult to attract people to this vacation because it's more like adventure and trip, and people may think maybe I will not work in the train or it would be complicated. So this could be some things that we need, to solve. But on the other hand, if person makes something at one place, for example, I don't know, vacation in Africa or somewhere, there are also a lot of competition in just vacations, and it's I think also difficult to gather people to that. So it's everything. It's all about marketing and how you find a way to promote your vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
And it's also about reviews. I mean, like first Nomadtrain, it was only about like our friends, and as we spoke with you about our social networks. Then second train, we add some ads. And this third Nomadtrain, I even have not started any campaign, but I already have 5 people on board. Саша, меня перестал работать. Можно еще 10 минут и все? Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
The thing is that like it's Georgia, and it's also what I wanted to say. What is very important about internet, and for example, in Russia, internet is really very good. I mean, we have like to our participants, except from like Wi-Fi in the hotels, like coworkers, we also give SIM cards that have 30 gigabytes of data, and it works really well. On the stops, you can use the video conference calls, you can share internet for yourself. But what I see, for example, even in Germany is really awful in terms of Wi-Fi,
yeah.
public Wi-Fi. Yeah, if you go to some if you want to go to some cafe or restaurant just to work, it's impossible. I was in Munich like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I found really nice designed cafe, and I thought, oh, what's a nice place? I would work, I will stay here all day. No way. I was just like jumping with my laptop all around the place, and I couldn't finally work, and I went to airports and I worked from there. So
yeah, Germany is really awful. I mean,
yeah,
like
so
every place you go in Asia, they have better internet than Germany.
that's true. So this is like, developed country, but of course, maybe you need to, in Germany, you need to, I don't know, just relax in different way. Do not use internet. So you have good mobile connection, but Wi-Fi is not that good. And in Georgia, for example, right now where I am, it's also in some places it's good, in some places it's not very good. But in common, it's not like the best connection ever. In Russia it is, and I feel that Russia have potential to be a new kind of nomad place. And with the Nomadtrain, I'm feeling that I'm promoting not only vacations, not only train travels, but also, Russia is a destination. So
Yeah, true. I've actually myself, I've never been in Russia yet, but I really would like to go there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm originally from St. Petersburg, so it's really hip city, and for me it's a mixture of Berlin, Amsterdam, and Budapest. It's really have nice architecture and a lot of bars, a lot of cafes, a lot of channels like in Amsterdam, and rivers and bridges and everything. And beginning of summer, it's really nice place to just visit St. Petersburg, but also September when we have our trip, it's well good. And it's we actually in purpose chose September for the trip because it's the best time to do trans-siberian, because it's starting to be Indian summer. The leaves are very beautiful, the landscapes are beautiful, and yeah, September is really nice time.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Join us on the trip.
Yeah, maybe I'll do. Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you have any more questions?
I would have seriously a lot of more questions, but I keep it short. So I'm going to ask you some 2 or 3 more questions, so it doesn't take too much of your time. Let me just. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, you said before that around 4 people are in each compartment of the train, and in total you have 20 to 30 people. How do you make it work for all the people, like that there's like a community is growing out of those people, that people are connecting with each other? I guess like such a compartment with 4 people, like in terms of a classic vacation, it's really nice to have like small workshops. You mentioned that one, or like even mastermind sessions. I think it's a good size. But yeah, how do like the bigger group, how do they connect? Or is it always like small groups in your train?
Yeah. Well, suddenly, like I remember the one time we discussed some like nomad future or some like nomad planet, and we were like, I think we counted, we were 16 in this compartment, so we all went there and were sitting on each other. So it's I want to say that if it's for 4, it's for sleeping for 4. So if you can be there like comfortably 6 or even 8 people if you need to be more for some, I don't know, discussion or some workshop. When we are in the train, we are doing some open space sessions. It's when you can actually tell that at 12 I will do yoga. And we did some Qigong practice in the whole like corridor of the train, and it was fun. We had some Russian language courses, or I don't remember what more, like this is nomad planet discussions. And who wanted, again, it's not obligatory, but if you want to join any of these activities, you can join. Or you can just sit, and people were reading some books or drawing some pictures. Everyone were doing their stuff or even working. And what is nice, there is also in each train, there is a separate wagon, huge wagon, that is the restaurant wagon. And it's only like tables and a bar. So you can come there and you can take there some food from menu. Or we were organizing there some eating meals, right? And it means that several times per day, people were going that wagon. I'm losing my voice. And they were also meeting there. So this is also a place where you meet all together. And in that compartment of 4, it also depends, you can change. Like, for example, first trip from first city to another city, you are with these 3 people, then you can change. I mean, by tickets, of course, we have each seat connected to the person, but at the end, if we like half of the wagon or the whole wagon, they don't care about what we do there, and we can just mix and do what we want, so it's no problem.
Okay. So like this, you have also like big wagons. I mean, it sounds actually fun to like do yoga or something similar on the corridor. Yeah. And also people are able to switch and go like in other compartments and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And yeah, is there anything in with your previous nomad trips, like where something like went really wrong during the trip itself?
It was like we really thought in advance what could be wrong, and we really prepared for A, B, C things that could happen. And in this in this case, we do for everyone visa, like each person should make visa by himself, but we also coordinate this process and help if a person needs this help. And for example, one of the things that could happen, that someone will go, for example, to the hospital, right? So something will happen with his health, and he, for example, can miss the next train, and he will stay in Russia more than he plans. And for this, I think we, how do you say it? Like we tell people make visa not at the day when we supposed to cross Russia to Mongolia, but make it longer for 4 days, just in case if something happens. Not, thanks God, nothing like something, I don't know, nothing had happened so far. The second thing that like few thing, like smaller thing, is that someone would just wouldn't come in time for the train, and he would just lose the train. And what we should do in this case, we also have some instructions what should we do. But also we didn't miss anyone. There was the worst thing what happened is that once we were in the stop, there is also stops when the train just stops, but we do not go on the train, we just go outside to, I don't know, just to have some fresh air, to buy some stuff, and just have, I don't know, maybe connect, because internet in the train works, so you go on the street, I mean on the platform. And then some of these stops are very short, some of them like half an hour, and you, of course, you do not count like people, everyone, so they should know when they need to come back to the train. And once we were like in the stop and we were getting back to the train, and train started to move, and one of the person calls me and he's telling me, we didn't manage to sit on the train, we lost the train is moving and we are not in the train. And I was like, oh my god, no way, guys, you are crazy, like how you managed to do this? And it was only a joke, you know, they went to the train. So only jokes so far, not really, we didn't have really like huge fuck ups. There was also one fun story that we had some reservation first in one city. We didn't find really nice hotel, and we booked hostels, but twin accommodation in hostels. And the guy was sleeping in this hostel. And this hostel, something, he fuck ups everything. And when we came, he wanted to put our people with other like people in 6-bedroom apartments and blah blah blah. We told them no. So finally, 2 guys were sleeping alone in 6-bedroom, like 6 beds place. And at 6 a.m. in the morning, this hostel, he had some new people coming, and they put these new people to the flat of these guys, and not flat, that room. And these guys, they didn't expect anyone to come, of course, and there were some 6 new people coming in that room, playing some guitar and, you know, singing some songs. And they were a bit stressed because it was first night during the trip on this first train. But we also like kind of figure it out, so it was really like the worst and minor thing that we had for the whole trip. So not a lot of fuck ups so far.
Yeah, I always like it to hear such funny or crazy things that happened. Also, luckily, like the thing where people missed the train was just a joke. But I mean, it's something that could actually happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but we like this, we think in advance. Like some of the girls last year, they didn't want to stay. Like we had 3 days in one city, and they wanted to go to another city, and they went to that city to another city, and it's actually 10 hours by train. And they wanted to join, and it's like further to Mongolia. And they told, okay, we will go there, and when your train will go, we will join your train, and we will go all together later. And I was a bit worried that they maybe will not manage to join the train, or they will, I don't know, somehow something will happen. But no, they managed, so they did it. And they had some Russian friends in another city, so these friends helped them to catch our train, so everything was good.
Yeah, glad to hear it worked out. Yeah.
Yes.
And like for such cases, like that someone misses a train, or someone maybe, I don't know, gets hurt or whatever, or someone does something wrong with the visa and tries to blame you guys. I mean, usually things like that don't happen, but
they could, of course.
It could. How do you secure yourselves from such things? Do you have some kind of contract which people need to sign in before, like, okay, I'm aware of the risks and stuff like that. I'm not going to sue you.
We actually don't have a contract yet. We didn't have it, but I'm thinking to make it maybe this year or next year, because I think it's important to keep in mind, you know, and also for people to understand that they join the organized trip, but as I tell in each interview, I'm telling 2 things: that of course, we are organizing that, but we are not really travel agency. We are doing this experience and helping them have fun in Russia and work in Russia. And each person is in charge of his own experience. And I want people to be really conscious about their own fun and not take everything for granted and not take everything that it's organized, because it's not interesting when the person is not thinking by himself what he wants to do and what he can, how he can, what he can do to the goals of the group as well. So this is first thing that we tell to everyone. And second thing about what you said about like what could happen, of course, yeah, that's why we have at least 2 people in the group, like who is kind of organizers. In case something happens, that one can stay with the person who is having problems, difficulties, and one would continue going with the group. And third thing is, if something happens, you need to solve this problem very quickly. So this is just how you do. If you have any fuck up, just solve fuck up. And if it's already happens, it's already happens. It's useless to find and guilty people. You need to just solve it and find the best solution and best experience how you can go through that. And I think even without any contract, if you solve this quickly and with the best, positive result, people would be grateful. I don't know what kind of situation could be, but anyway, that's what you can do. And that's what we are doing so far. I think that's why we didn't have any really heavy issues, because we were thinking a lot of things in advance. We have some people just in case, and if something happens, we solve it quickly. And it's also experience. I mean, like really, I have 8 years of event organization, and I had so many things. I had so many stories, but it's a story for another interview. When, all my luggage was stolen, for example, in Barcelona. Like the car was broken in, and I am doing car test drives. And when the car is damaged, then you need to have it new next day. So many things. That's our Nomadtrain. It's really like a candy. Nothing happens with that. So it's really nice.
Yeah, maybe another time we should do another interview. So you're gonna tell me more about the stories.
Fuck ups, yeah. I was thinking about maybe write some book, because I'm starting to forget all these stories, but there was a lot of them, lots of fun. So
Olga, thank you very much for your insights and tips on the Nomadtrain and how you organize it. And yeah, you told us that the next Nomadtrain is in September this year. Is there still places available on the train?
Yeah, we have next trip is from 11th to 25th of September. We're starting in Moscow and finishing in Mongolia. We have seats available. Join us. And maybe we can give some discount coupon to your community and post it in social networks. Why not?
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of our listeners from Germany who will hear this interview will get interested and like to join. Yeah, I really hope so for you as well, because I like the concept a lot. Yeah.
Okay, we give 100 euros discount for your community.
Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna have a look into how we're gonna put that into the interview. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
And all right, then thank you again very much, Olga, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting. Thank you also for the interview, and hope that your listeners and the community will do and build nice vacations experience, and find their community and find their people and have nice experiences that will also be valuable for the teams and give great results.
I hope so too, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Olga. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Vielen Dank, lieber Zuhörer, liebe Zuhörerin, für deine Zeit, dass du teilgenommen hast an diesem Interview. Ich hoffe, du konntest einiges mitnehmen und unser Englisch war gut verständlich für dich. Und bis zum nächsten Mal.